Good morning guys, John Paul and Hayley Jones from the Reddish Rascals here. Well, it's Easter Sunday morning at 7 o'clock. I've been down early this morning because it was a bit too hot yesterday afternoon to dig these trenches. And these trenches here are for our new asparagus crowns which arrived on Friday from Marshalls. I'm not promoting Marshalls, these were what I bought in August last year and I've been waiting for them to arrive. So what I've done is I've dug the 3 trenches because we're going to have an early, a middle and a late variety, so that we have cropping asparagus in 3 years time for the whole of May and June. And yeah, for each crown, once they've established, you get about 20 to 25 spears off every plant, and I'm going to have 10 plants in each row, so that's 30 in total. So if you do the maths, we've got about 750 spears. My maths is dreadful, sorry. Fully operational in 2 months, which will feed us and our family for the whole of the fresh time, and we'll be able to freeze some for over the winter months, so we can have asparagus all year round. I'll show you now how the crowns come and what I've had to do to them before we plant them. Guys, as you can see, the crowns of the asparagus come in paper bags, and they're what called bare root crowns, so they're actually not in soil. So what we do is we soak them for 24 hours or overnight in just cold water to let them absorb it and make them more supple, so they're not going to snap or anything like that. So as you can see, I've left them in the bags so that I know which variety is which, and I'm going to place them out in order. And but there's a few things that I need to do first, which I'm going to explain to you next. So guys, these trenches are 8 inches deep. It looks that a bit more in some places, it's just because the soil's earthed up a bit on the sides, by 12 inches wide. So that's, excuse the plane, I will record this bit again because we are on the flight path to Manchester Airport. So guys, there's a few things that I need to do, as I said, before I plant the crowns into the soil. So the way that they are now, what we have to do in the bottom of each of the trench, I need to sieve some of the soil that came out so it's really fine. I'm going to mix it with some bloodfish and bone meal to give it a really good long-term food source at its roots, so that it can develop its shoots. And then when the crowns are all in place, what I have to do is sieve 2 inches of soil. So basically it will the mound will keep the roots out of the deepest soil so that they don't get too rotten in the winter months. And the first year you only have 2 inches of the remaining 8 or 6 inches left, so you have 3 trenches like this open all year, and the rest of the soil will be on this bed ready to, in the autumn when they've stopped flowering and they put all the goodness back into the crowns, you can fill them up level then, so when they start sprouting next year they come up really strong and vigorous through the ground. Because when you put them in this year, they've just been transplanted, they're a bit fragile, they haven't had all winter to have their stores and start growing a little bit earlier, so they're going to take a bit harder to get out of the ground if you put them all the way in. So what the old guys always used to do on the allotments when I was younger is you just put 2 inches of soil on for the first year, and then in the autumn put the remaining 4 inches or so, or 5 inches, whatever you've got left on the top, so it brings your beds level. And then they used to put the markers at the end of the beds so that they knew where they were going to come up the next year. Like I said, this is a long-term project. Asparagus, the crowns cost us about 50 quid for 30 of them, but once they're established in 2 or 3 years time and they're producing asparagus, you will have asparagus then for the next 30 years, 25 at least, if you look after them, feed them, give them all the nourishment that they need over the winter months to build up, and the time to put the energy back into the crowns. I will go through this through the summer, each stages, and give you updates. But next job is to sieve that barrow of soil and some of this to make a mound, which I will then give you a short clip of on the video and explain it, what I've done, like I've just said now. And then I will place the crowns on top and show you what they look like before I sieve the rest of the soil onto the top of them. Okay, bye. So guys, as you can see, I've sieved the soil and mixed a little bit of compost in with it and the bloodfish and bone meal, and made like a ridge down the middle. The next stage is to plant out the crowns, but before I do that I need to sieve some more soil to go on top so that they don't have a chance to dry out once I've placed them. But as always, I will keep you up to date and show you each step of the way. Okay, so guys, as promised, this is the first, and these are the early variety of asparagus that we've got going in. So I've spread the crowns around. As you can see on this one, it's already starting to sprout asparagus this year, and this is why when I fill it in now I only put 2 inches of soil, because those crowns are quite weak at the moment, and I need those asparagus spears to develop into fronds to create photosynthesize, to make the roots go deeper so that they build up the strength for next year, and then I'll top it up to ground level in the winter. So that's the first line. Then I'm going to do the raised bit again there, so it just lifts the crowns up off the same level as the roots so that they're like a spider's web, and then I'll top them with 2 inches or so. So when I've done it all, I'll show you the final result and you can see what it looks like. So guys, these are the middle crowns now. So we've put the sieved soil underneath with some bloodfish and bone as I did the earlies. Put the crowns in now, and I'm going to fill them with 2 inches of sieved soil like I have done here on the earlies, and then I'll finally do the lates, which will go in there. It's hard graft this, out of breath. Speak to you soon, bye. So guys, these are the lates now. I presume these are called Millennium. So we had Millennium, Mondeo and Ellipse, in case I forgot to tell you that. So they're the first, middles and lates. I'm going to fill these in with 2 inches of soil to see how they sink in, and if they need a bit more I'll do it at a later date and just keep on topping up. As you can see on that far one, there are asparagus spears, and on here already forming, so we just need to leave them so that they bed in and get used to the ground that they've now transplanted into. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we will keep you up to date on the progress and show you what happens throughout the year. That's it from John Paul and Hayley Jones, Reddish Rascals. Till the next time, goodbye. So guys, that's them all planted now. I'm going to leave them for now to settle in overnight. Rain's forecast for tomorrow, so I'm just going to let the rain and nature take its course and bed them in. If it doesn't rain too much, I'll water them first thing in the morning. And I'm going home now to enjoy the rest of my Easter Sunday with my family. Goodbye now.